Okay, so today we're getting on the ice and we're trying out True's new Catalyst 9X3, seeing how it feels and seeing how it performs, and also putting it up against True's old spec, the Catalyst PX. Let's see how they get on. I really like this one.
Yeah, I could tell.
I think this one's a lot better to shoot with, stick handle with. I think they've just upped it by about 10, if I'm being honest, which is really, really impressive. I was not a fan of this stick, and I will be honest, it wasn't used much. Whereas this one, I'm honestly considering it being my number 2.
What's your number 1 out of curiosity?
But yeah, I'm very impressed. They have upped it by about 10 in every aspect: shot, release, stick handle, feel, grip, everything. They've upped the game in their sticks, the Catalyst, which is very, very impressive.
And you commented on the weight of these two sticks earlier.
Yeah, I felt like this one was a little bit lighter.
Yeah.
Which I think obviously helps with the feel, the movement, the stick handling. But man, I'm in shock. I'm shocked.
Yeah, no, I can tell. It's kind of like taken away from the video.
Yeah.
There's a clear big difference between the performance, right?
Massively.
Yeah.
You could see it was just way, 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 way easier to shoot with. I got a lot more power with this stick than I did that one. And I don't feel like that's just me saying it. I think you can see that on the camera. But man, damn.
Now this is a little bit different. We don't normally do this, so excuse me for jumping into this video. But when we look at the Catalyst PX and VS'd it against the Catalyst 9X3, the difference wasn't as clear as night and day. It wasn't a significant upgrade. It literally felt like another manufacturer had stepped in and made a new stick under the True banner. Now, while this is giving praise to the Catalyst 9X3, this is absolutely demolishing the Catalyst PX, which in our opinion, if you can't already tell from the review, I'll save you going into the details of the whole video, is essentially not a great stick. But when we look at what True have done with the 9X3, it's something entirely different. And watching the video back while we were cutting it together kind of made us feel like the best approach to this was just to explain the Catalyst PX was not a good stick in every conceivable metric when you VS it against the 9X3. The weight, the durability, the performance, the feel, every metric you could measure a stick by, the brand new 9X3 from True is a completely new generation of sticks. And this isn't me praising them, it's being as honest as I can be. PX, Catalyst, not good. Brand new 9X3, great stick. Now that being said, the way that we wanted to continue the video was to VS it against something that we feel will be a lot more logical and balanced, which would be the 7X3, which is the model just below the now top spec Catalyst stick from True Hockey.
Whenever you're ready,
I don't know if my hand was bleeding through the glove, that's all.
lead it through the glove.
Yeah, bro. Messed up my hands, didn't I?
Oh, thanks.
I know. Cracked it now.
Cuddle.
No, I'll be okay. All right, so the first stick we looked at was the 7X3, which is the lower model, or sorry, one down from the top spec. And I will say it's a very nice stick. It's very nice to shoot with, great feel with the puck. You're still able to pull those fancy moves, even if they take a while. Shut up, Chris. It's not a bad stick. I would definitely not complain if my coach came over and said, here, this is your stick. I'd be quite happy with it. It's not something I wouldn't use. I would definitely give this a go and try it out if I didn't have this one. And the reasoning for that is everything just flows and feels a lot more smoother with the top of the range stick. It's almost like it's in autopilot. I don't know how else to put it. It's definitely a lot easier to shoot with. It's got a lot better of a ping on the bottom of your shot. The release is definitely just a little bit better. Slap shots, definitely better. I felt like this was quite soft when taking slap shots with it. Whereas this one, obviously, a very solid stick. Very happy with it. I wouldn't complain with either one, if I'm being completely honest. I didn't feel like there was any difference in the weight, if I'm being completely honest.
Okay.
I felt like they were very, very equal in weight. I feel like the top spec had a little bit of a better feel. Obviously, I don't know all the tech stuff. I leave that down to Chris. But it almost felt like they were made out of different materials.
Now, when we look at the construction of the 9X3 versus the 7X3, if you go on any website that sells them or advertises these sticks, all of the construction properties and materials look pretty much identical. When you look at the tech and specs of these two sticks, the only differences that you can see on paper are really about the weight of these sticks and the price point, and maybe to some degree the level of play that these sticks are intended for. Now, the reason that the 7X3 feels like it's been constructed from a different material versus the 9X3, even though in reality that's not the case, is because of how the stick has been constructed. They're using the same materials, but with the 9X3 being the elite premium top spec stick from True's mid-kick point stick range, what this means is that during the construction process of the stick, while they're layering the carbon fiber, every effort has been made to refine and remove any unwanted excess materials, completely eradicating them from the construction of this stick. That essentially has a massive impact on the feel of this stick on the ice, and it's why the 9X3 feels like it's been made from different materials to the 7X3. The construction process there is still going to be of a high standard based on the stick's price point in comparison to other sticks from True, but it's not as refined. They've not made as much of an effort to remove those excess materials as they have with the 9X3. And this result can be seen in the differences between these two sticks' prices and of course their performance on the ice. And it's why there seems to be such a wild difference in feel between these two sticks. I just wanted to clear that up and save you the long tech chat that I normally add to the videos. Back to the ice.
How does the 7X3 and the 9X3 compare to the previous Catalyst PX?
Oh, it's 100 times better.
Both of them?
100 times better.
Okay, let's talk about that a bit.
I think that this stick, the 7X3, is lighter than the Catalyst PX from the old spec. That's saying a hell of a lot. Because I thought that the old Catalyst was very clunky, very heavy, very hard to shoot with, very stiff. Whereas these are completely different. They're nice to shoot with, you've got a great feel with them, they're lighter. Do you know what I mean? It almost feels like they're not a Catalyst, which kind of seems like there's a theme of that going on in the stick industry, but it feels like a completely different spec, completely different brand inside of True.
Something else I wanted to touch on is how Tommy mentions one stick feels lighter than the other. When we look at the actual tech spec and measure these two sticks, or rather weigh them, it's actually the opposite way around, but the reason for this is down to the construction of these two sticks. Now, the new 9X3 and also the 7X3, in terms of how they've been constructed to the previous Catalyst PX, there's been numerous upgrades, numerous differences in the way these two sticks are constructed, which has resulted in a better balanced stick. Now, when you have a better balanced stick, when you're doing things like taking face-offs, taking shots on the ice, stick handling, the stick can appear or feel to be significantly lighter than the previous stick that you were using based on its balance. Now, despite the fact that there's not that great of a difference between these two sticks' weight, I just wanted to touch on that because I know what you guys can be like in the comments, but a better balanced stick, even though it might be a few grams heavier than another stick, can feel lighter just based on its construction and how well that stick has been balanced.
Do you think there's a big enough difference between those two sticks to warrant paying premium money for the 9X3? Or do you think the majority of players will be fine with the 7X3? I think that's what it comes down to. Where's the best value for money?
If I had to buy one, I'd be buying the 9X3.
Why?
Because it's so much, it's easier to use.
Yeah.
I feel like everything just, I've said it before, I feel like everything flows easier and it's just easier to do. You know what I mean? It feels more comfortable in my hands, which for me is a big difference. You feel comfortable, you play better. If it feels, you're gonna play. Do you know what I mean?
In terms of what shot do you feel like this range of sticks excels at?
Definitely a wrist shot.
Yeah?
Definitely a wrist shot. It's so easy, such a nice release with this stick. I used it back at club with Invicta Dynamos on Tuesday, and just the release, the feel, the passing was all really, really nice to this stick. It definitely excels in the wrist shot aspect. So based on how I take slap shots, how often I take slap shots, this stick just isn't for me when it comes to slap shots. But that's not a bad thing. You know, some players don't take slap shots very often. I know I don't. Where I play and the level I play at, there's not much time to take a slap shot. So a great wrist shot is amazing for a stick. One time as I felt like it was okay. It had quite a nice pop off the bottom of the stick, which you can never complain about. Backhands I thought were lovely. I thought they come off the stick nice and smooth. All round, it's not a bad stick. It's a very, very nice stick, and I'm definitely thinking about giving it a try this season.
Okay. I'd say where it ranks, but that's going to be...
It's going to be a different video.
Video link will be in the description for that one.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on that stick?
No, man. Keep your eyes out, and if you can, definitely pick one up. Okay, so very, very shocking video today. I'm sure a lot of you are going to be surprised. If you made it through, please hit the like button, subscribe. It helps us out. And let us know what you want us to review next. See you in the next one.